Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're here in Draper doing a sewer scope. Today is February 8th, 2023. We've got the camera pushed out 95 feet. We're at 12048 South Tuscany Creek Way. We're not quite to the city connection. In fact, we're not very far into the yard. I think we're right outside the foundation. You'll see a little bit of running water. Now that I pull my camera back, that's going to settle down once water's not hitting it directly. But right here on the screen, that's a clean out. And so that's a sewer access point somewhere outside. Usually it's right outside the front of the house. I would imagine this sewer line goes out towards the front. And so what we're able to see with this scope is basically everything under the house, under the slab. 91 feet is quite the distance, considering that we're only outside the footprint of the house. It's getting to where I can't push my camera any further, but there's a clean out, and so I'm going to look for it outside and hopefully be able to locate it and scope the rest of the line. Otherwise, we want to find out where that access point is, so that either I can scope through that point, or we can have somebody else come in and scope through that point and look at the rest of the line as well. I always go from this spot first so that we don't miss what's under the house, though. This is ABS. This is a plastic pipe. They still use it on some new construction. They also use a lot of PVC inside the house. But then that white pipe that you saw when I started the camera scope, that's PVC, and that's what's likely going all the way out to the city connection. So far I'm not seeing any standing water, which is good. That indicates that you have proper grade through this area. You never want to see standing water. So far I'm not seeing too much buildup. Little tiny bit of standing water there. I've not seen any roots or offsets where the pipes have slipped. Less common to see roots under the slab, but still possible. I'm accessing the sewer line through a clean out in the basement next to the furnace. I saw other caps that were installed in the basement in the walls, and so I think you do have other access points, which is great. A lot of times they get covered up with drywall, and so it's great that it appears that you still have access to them. A little bit of standing water through here. Never ideal when you have standing water like that, because it's a spot where waste could collect and create a blockage. I would say that one was pretty minimal from what I could see. It wasn't very long. It wasn't a disclosure I saw that there had been some sort of an issue with the sewer where they adjusted some of the plumbing, some of the drain lines, so that it prevents that. Typically, when you have issues like that, it's a grade issue underground. Sounds like this one was, from my understanding, something that was adjusted in the mechanical room. And so I would be curious, you know, if that were something that we're backing up through the floor drain. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me unless it was a venting issue. I would get a little more clarification and find out who did it, if it was warranted, and if everything that the contractor recommended was done. A lot of times work is done by very reputable companies, but then you sometimes find out later that they recommended X, Y, and Z, and only X was done. I oftentimes see that with properties that have flooded or had moisture issues, where they recommend, you know, opening up the drywall and drying it out, and then they only pay for a cheaper portion of it. And so I'd be curious just to find out what was recommended and if everything was done. But as far as I can see, everything was draining well. Biggest issue here is just finding another access point so that we can see the rest of the line. I'm going to end this recording now.